Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Chodash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Ban Yasharal of the Lions Den Camp, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Also, salutations to the sincere Akim, percentage truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab Ban Yasharalo, coming out of the Lions Den Camp, and not today. I'll be coming out with a lesson. This is another article that the Bishop Kanak of this camp has put in the group chat. And it says NATO calls up biggest global force in decades with 90,000 troops to begin steadfast defender World War III drills. And of course, this is the Lord. This is his doing. He's gathering these nations together because World War III will happen. But let's continue. It says NATO has announced its biggest call-up in decades as 90,000 troops prepare to begin World War III drills in a matter of days. This is the Lord, man. We at the end now. The Lord getting these the brigandines of these nations, i.e. their armies. He's getting them up, gathering them up for the last battle, for the last fight. But though these things are happening, the end is not yet. There's still some things that need to take place first. But let's continue. It says amongst that number will be 20,000 British troops as the alliance plans to test allies on their ability to engage in conflict with an adversary as capable as Russia. It says steadfast defender will begin next week and run to late May, involving units from all 31 NATO member countries, plus candidate member Sweden. This is NATO Supreme Allied. Read it again. It says NATO Supreme Allied Commander Europe, U.S. General Christopher Cavoli, told journalists in Brussels of the groundbreaking news after a two-day meeting of national chiefs of defense. It says the alliance will demonstrate its ability to reinforce the Euro-Atlantic area by a transatlantic movement of forces from North America, Cavoli said. It says the war games are meant as a fresh show of strength from NATO and its commitment to defend all allied nations from attack. He's so around here playing games. The Lord is gathering these nations so that they can fight each other. This is not a war game. It says the UK's 20,000 troops will be sent alongside the Royal Navy's 2 new aircraft carriers and 8 warships. The RAF F-35 Lightning attack aircraft will also be present and tested with intimidated conflict scenarios. It says Defense Secretary Grant Shapps announced the deployment of all 3 forces to the 31 nations drill on Monday. It says it comes as the prospects of World War III continue to grow with ongoing conflict around the world. And this is what the Lord is doing this. Let's continue. It says, but NATO's exercise is primarily preparing for potential aggression from Russia. See, they keep trying to blame Russia. It ain't Russia. Russia's defending itself. It says earlier this week, leaked a military report. So let me read that again. It says earlier this week, a leaked military report revealed that Vladimir Putin could be Vladimir Putin step-by-step plan to bring the West to the brink of war, and it starts in weeks. It could be. See, that could is a dead giveaway. It's really over there in the East that's gonna drag America into war. I'll probably grab that when I'm finished with this. It says the secret documents detail the despot's possible path to conflict, which reaches its climax in the summer of 2025. On day X, 500,000 NATO and Russian soldiers will face each other. See, Esau trying to put a stamp on it of when it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in the Lord's time. It says the UK continues to support Ukraine in their battle against Russia. However, with ministers announcing a further, I guess that is €2.5 billion support package earlier this week. It says, but military strikes alongside the U.S. against Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen have also raised concerns of all-out warfare. Fighting on too many fronts. Foreign Secretary Cameron told, I ain't finna call that Edomite, no Lord. Former Secretary Cameron told Sky News it was hard to think of a time where there has been so much danger and insecurity. Germany will also send 12,000 soldiers to steadfast defend, according to the national newspaper Bild, along with 3,000 vehicles and 30 aircrafts. It says, citing the German press agency Bild, the exercise will simulate a Russian attack on NATO territory, a scenario which would trigger Article 5 or Korea. And it says, the article states that if any NATO country is attacked, all other alliance countries will mobilize to defend it. The largest NATO experience like exercise since the Cold War took place in 2018, as 51,000 troops participated in the Trident Junction that happened, I guess, in 2018 in Norway. So as you know, there you go. These nations are getting prepared for war. So this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. So a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction and judgment. As you can see, all these other NATO countries, they're preparing for war, as these other nations have been already prepared for war. China, Russia, Korea, and with the recent happenings over there in the East, with those fakers, the 48 fakers, Hamas and all the rest of them things. This is all the Lord is doing. That's a sound of battle that's in the land, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be a great destruction, and it's going to follow these wars. Because right now we have wars and rumors of wars. Let's get some scriptures. This is Matthew 24, verse 6. And it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're living in the times where we are hearing of wars, and we're hearing of rumors of wars. But the Lord says, don't be troubled. See that you don't be troubled, that don't be bothered by these things. Because these things have to come to pass. All these nations getting ready and geared up for war, this has to come to pass. This is part of the Lord's plan. He decided this was going to happen to usher in an infinite era of righteousness and truth. Continue with verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. So, as we see now today, nations are rising up against nations. They're fighting each other. You have a lot of small conflicts, you know. kingdom against kingdom, and as you know, we see that right now. These nations are gearing up, and of course, there are famines and earthquakes and pestilences in diverse places, different places, and these things have come to pass. We've seen these things. As a matter of fact, Japan just got hit with like a 7 point something magnitude earthquake, and then right after that, I think they got hit with a bad storm or tsunami, if I'm not mistaken. But these are the beginning of sorrows. These are the beginning of the end times. So we're living in Revelation. Let's continue. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So the Lord is gathering these nations, and he is going to gather them in the valley of Jehoshaphat over there in the east, because that's the way that's his place of judgment, and he's going to judge these nations. He's going to plead with them. That's what it means. Plead means to judge. He's going to judge these nations for what they did to the children of Israel. They've parted the Lord's heritage. They've scattered his people. They've done wrong, these other nations. Let's continue. Let's see. Let's go back. Salaki, that was Joel chapter 3, not chapter 2. That was Joel chapter 3, verse 2. This is Joel chapter 2. Because with this NATO thing, Babylon is part of that. So this is Joel chapter 2, verse 20. It says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and its hinder parts towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. So the Lord is going to take the Babylonian American army and draw them off to the east. That's what it means by I will move far off from you the northern army, meaning the Lord is going to draw the defense for Babylon away into another land. You're going to drive them to a land that's barren and desolate, with their face towards the east sea. And the hinder parts, meaning they're not going to be able to defend America when these things really turn up. Ain't gonna be no defense for Babylon America. And how they gonna end up over there is because of this right here. Because them 48 fakers over there. That's how they gonna end up. Let's see real quick. Let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 50. This is how they're gonna end up over there. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. So the least of the flock is going to draw them out. This is the Lord's doing. It says, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken up against Babylon, i.e., also known as America, and his purposes, that he has purposed against this place, the land of the Chaldeans. And it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock that drew the Babylon America out. Got them over there fighting the Houthis and all that stuff. Is those 48 fakers? Those other European Ashkenazi, as they call themselves, Ashkenazi Jews, because they're only Jews by conversion. They're not the real people, but they have drawn America out, and in that, the Lord is going to make this place, this habitation of Babylon America, a desolate place with them. He's going to destroy this place. And it says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is going to be moved. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard when these missiles, these ICBMs, the Lord's weapons of his indignation, hit America. It's going to shake the earth, literally. That's what it means by the earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard. It's going to shake the earth. It's going to hit with that much power, that much force. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 3. It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. This is talking about the destruction, the judgment, the ICBM missiles that the Lord speaks of in Revelations. I've heard it was I wanted to say, I think it's in Revelation 14. Let me get it real quick, just as a reference point. Okay, so like not Revelation 14, but Revelations 9. It says, this is 9 to 16. It says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. 200 million missiles are going to hit this place. These are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. Verse 17 says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. So that's talking about the destructive power of these missiles. This is the best way that John the Revelator in those times could explain what he saw in his vision. The Lord showed him in the vision. So he saw the horses. He saw it. He saw 200 million missiles hitting this place. That's what it means by, and it says having breastplates of fire and of jacinth, meaning they're gonna be shot up into the atmosphere, i.e. the Shemayans, when they're down. These weapons will be shot in an arcing fashion. And that's what it means by having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, meaning the outer covering of the missiles, or whatever that material that is made out of, whether it be aluminum or some kind of metal or something, but nonetheless. But it says, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. That represents a destructive power. It says, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. That's talking about the destruction that is going to happen when this place get hit with those ICBM missiles. I'm going to jump down to verse 19. It says, for their power is in their mouth, and in their tails, Salakia. And for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So it says their power is in their mouth, meaning their power is in those destructive warheads. That's where the power is at. And in their tails, the propulsion system to shoot them out from their respective places that these other nations have them to launch them from. And it says, and with them they do hurt, meaning destructive power, a destroying power. Now let's go back to Joel chapter 2, verse 3. It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. So they're going to be shot up into to the heavens and down. That's what it means by it says a fire devoureth before them. They're going to have that heat shield. And then also when they hit, boom, again, that destructive power. And it says, again, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Again, that's that propulsion system. And the land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Before the missiles get shut off, right now you see stuff, you see things, you see trees and stuff, and grass and growing, and you see beautiful land and stuff. I don't know if you ever seen pictures of Alaska. They say the world's last natural beauty, of things like that. Well, that's what it means by it. These places, like, it look good, but in the end, after these missiles have hit, behind them is going to be a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them. Meaning, ain't nothing gonna escape this destruction. The destructive power of the Lord's weapons of indignation. Only the hopeful elect and the 1/3 men, women, and children of Israel are going to escape because they believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So the Lord is gathering these nations. A sound of battle is in the land, and it will happen. And with that, Shalom. A war will happen. Shalom.